Hey y'all, I'm Elisa and I am the Scrappy Wife behind scrappywife.com, and today I have a traveler's notebook process video for you. This is an A5 size journal that I am working in for memory keeping for the month of February, and today I'm going to try to use up a lot of scrap. So I have all of these branding strips cut off from Felicity Jane papers, and then I have some various Felicity Jane scraps over here. I'll be documenting a few pictures of my kiddos and their friends, and otherwise I will just make sure that I list all of the supplies I end up using down below, and I will put you all on fast forward. See you at the end. Let's go. So this page ended up being about just using all kinds of things that were in my stash, and I will be totally honest, when I sat down to record this I wasn't feeling super inspired. I wanted to craft. I didn't have a direction to go, and I just started kind of plopping things on the page, and I think that happens sometimes, especially these days when there's so much going on. It's just a lot is going on, and I just wanted to play with my supplies and I didn't really have a plan, so I just started going, and the ending result is very different from other things that I have done, and that's okay because I think it is kind of reflective of the jumbled time. So this is a great way to use your branding strips. I kind of tried to go with a pattern and then solid, pattern and solid, and I'm saving the other half of the branding strips, and you'll see in just a second that I actually end up putting it on the other side to create a balance. I just had torn edges, wanted it to feel very kind of natural over there, adding in all of these branding strips. And I just love that Felicity Jane takes the time to make these beautiful branding strips so that you can use every part of their supplies. So you can see I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do this, and then I decide, okay, I'll add this right here, and then I'm repeating the same pattern that I had over on the bottom left and the upper right, but it'll be in the opposite order, if that makes sense. So the shortest strip that's on the left will be the longest strip that's on the right, and it'll kind of create a diagonal feel on the page. The colors that I'm using are not necessarily colors that would go together, but this page is going to end up being just kind of a colorful, crazy layout where I just choose things that I like, that are speaking to me in the moment. And that's one of the beauties of a traveler's notebook, is that there's no rule. You're not making a scrapbook page. It has to be coordinated. It's not a Project Life page where everything fits in a pocket. It's kind of just freeing to just plunk things down on a page. And one of my very favorite scrapbookers to watch is Inky Quill, and she has another channel called Let's Get Inky, and on those channels she shows her traveler's notebook process, and this is kind of what she does. She just starts like plunking things on the page. She uses her traveler's notebooks oftentimes as just catch-alls for extra pictures that she's printed or extra supplies that she loves and she just wants somewhere but don't fit in her other projects. And I love her style. I love watching her, and so this is kind of inspired by her. Now that those branding strips are on the page, I'm going to start figuring out where I want my photos, and this is a picture of my Girl Scout troop at their Thinking Day gathering, which is kind of an international night celebration for Girl Scouts, and my sweet troop covered the country of France, and we researched it and created a whole thing, a whole project about it, and they actually won. They won the prize for the best project at Thinking Day, and it was awesome. So I have that sweet photo of my troop that I'm going to double matte. I used my deckled scissors there on that first one just to add a little bit of texture, and then adding just a little pop of yellow behind it because I thought it kind of tied into the yellow strip that was down below. So I have that page, and then I have these pictures. This is a picture of my son and his two very best friends from kindergarten, and they just love each other, and it is so sweet to watch them play. This is the son that's a little bit more introverted of the two twins, and he likes his close friends and he just wants to be with those two guys. all of the time. So whenever we're able to catch them after school, it's a pretty special day for him. So I have that picture of them, and then another picture of my daughter and one of our neighbors that is new, and they've had tons of fun just pretending together, and they get along awesome. So this page is kind of turning out to be kind of a friends page, kids and friends, and I'm using the deckled scissors, and for these smaller pictures I am not double matting them, but I am using that same yellow and red to create a little bit of consistency. But as you're gonna see, this page gets a little bit crazy, a little bit out there, and I just don't mind at all. I was pushing myself. There's so much going on with the coronavirus and kids at home, and it's hard to create when you have limited time and your brain is just filled with all the other things. So for me, I didn't mind too much that it ended up being kind of a crazy page. I just went for it. So what you are going to see now is some random paper pieces being picked out. So my ephemera drawer is right at my desk, right at my lap, and I'm going through, and all my ephemera is organized by color, and I'm picking out reds and yellows, just pieces that stick out to me that I think I can incorporate. I'm trying to use more of my paper pieces. I have a little bit of an obsession with die cuts and ephemera pieces, and I love them and collect them, and then sometimes don't get around to using them. So they're sorted by color for the most part, and I'm just trying to go through my drawer and pick out bits and pieces that I might be able to incorporate. They don't necessarily fit alongside you know, a theme or anything like that. Nothing more than just the different colors that I wanted to bring out, which were the reds and the yellows. There are a lot of colors going on, so I thought maybe if I highlight some of them within my paper pieces, then that'll create kind of a cohesive look. And so I'm just kind of figuring out where I want to lay out those pieces. I decided to trim out this little bubble, speech bubble that says hi. I really liked that piece, and it was perfect for all those sweet little boys making the peace sign right there. So adding that with them, and I'm just going to play and move things around on the page and figure out where I want everything to go. Now, as I start adhering things onto the page, you'll see that it gets shifted. Does this happen to anyone else? I had a plan, and then I had to take things off as I started putting them down on the page, and as I was taking them off, things got shifted, and I forgot an ephemera piece, and it got all messed up. So does that happen to you all? Sometimes I do take a picture if I definitely want it in a certain place. In this particular case, I'm using my phone to film my video, so I couldn't take a picture, but things get all kind of shuffled around, and not a big deal because, you know, this was kind of a casual layout anyway, but sticking that piece there. But you'll see I had a piece that I was going to journal on, kind of a journaling card, and I just forget to put it, and I pick another random piece, which is so weird that I just decided to pick another piece, but hey, that's okay. So I have these buildings. These are actually trimmed out of a Maggie Holmes paper that I loved, and I trimmed out a bunch of the little buildings and kept them as ephemera pieces. So I ended up deciding to stick them over there. They kind of tone down those journaling strips a little bit, and I just like the look of them. They really have, again, nothing to do with the theme, but just all to do with just pieces of ephemera that I love, and that's kind of what I was focusing on in this particular journal entry. Next, I'm pulling out a couple of different sticker sheets, and these are from Amy Tangerine, just some of the ones I've picked up from Tuesday morning. And again, I'm going with the red and kind of gold yellow theme and just picking out stickers that have those in. These are sticker sheets that I love, but again, they're big stickers, so I don't often get to use them in my planner, and I tend to forget to use them in journaling. So I'm trying to remember to use up all of these bits and pieces. This is a great time. It's kind of spring cleaning-esque time to just use up these pieces. So no rhyme or reason to what I'm doing except for the color. It doesn't necessarily have to go with a theme, like I said before, and I'm just seeing what fits where, flipping through. I liked that heart. I like the arrows. Hearts and arrows are so fun. Now here's where I go off of that theme. I'm picking up some blue, but there's a lot of blue in those boys' shirts, so that works really well. And of course the phrase, what I did today, works out great. Adding on a few little stickers, trying to remember, figure out where this goes. Now I end up having to add some glue to the back of a couple of these. These are some old stickers, maybe 2 years old, so I think they were a little bit less sticky pretty than the ideal would be. Love this arrow. I kind of play with where I want to put it here, or I switch it around, kind of auditioning it at different. Do you guys do this? You kind of audition your pieces, move them around, mess with them and play with them. So finally decide on a home right there, and I'm feeling pretty good about the placement of everything. This is where I figure out that sticker is not going to stay, and I'm trying to hold it down and get it to stay, and it just doesn't work. So I end up adding a little bit of glue, and this is where I find that ephemera piece. I was going to use that card, and nope, because now I've put that big sticker where that card was going to go, and it's just not going to work. So alas, I'll have to save that one for another day, adding on some glue to that sticker, and then I will come back with some markers. So at this point, I'm totally channeling my inner inky quill. This is kind of the style that she does. She likes to fill in all of the little white spaces left on her Traveler's Notebook pages with her hand lettering and her journaling. So I'm just adding some labels, some doodles here and there. I decided to title it Friends over here on the right because that's what is loosely tying these two pictures together. Fill in a few little journaling tidbits here and there, and then really this page is going to be done. It was a quick one, kind of, in that I didn't really have a plan going in. It was one of those forced creativity times, but I am pleased with the result. It was great to just get to use some of my supplies that I hadn't used in a while, and to kind of just get out of my comfort zone of sticking with certain supplies all of the time and certain styles. So it was nice to just try something different. I don't like white space, so this worked out really well for me, filling in all of these little bits and pieces. I will try to link supplies down below as well as in the corresponding blog post. I also have a link to my email newsletter in the notes for this show, so check that out if you're interested in receiving a newsletter with scrappy updates and organizing hacks. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider hitting that subscribe button. I hope you have a fabulous day, and as always, keep it creative.